Greetings viewers, EricTheCarGuy here. Behind me I have a 1999 Acura 2.3 TL. Basically these cars are Honda Accords. Today the Acura is in for a noise coming from the blower motor during blower motor operation. This noise is not present all the time. In fact, it's not present now. This leads me to suspect, since the blower motor does work, that there's perhaps debris or something in the HVAC system that has filtered its way down into the blower motor assembly and causing it to intermittently make noise. So in this video we are going to go through the process of removing said blower motor assembly, checking for debris, cleaning it out, and reinstalling it. So say if you have a problem with a blower motor on one of these vehicles or a Honda Accord of the same vintage, I would say I think around 93 on up is pretty much has this same configuration. If you have an issue like that or you have a blower motor that's not operational, this video is for you. So without further ado, let's head over to the vehicle and start taking stuff apart. So I suppose before we go off the reservation and start tearing things apart, we should actually verify the complaint. Just gonna turn that on. Blower motor is activated with this switch here saying fan. Sounds kind of normal right now. Try that's low setting. This vehicle has 151,000 miles on it for those of you that that matters to. So the blower does work on all speeds, which means that the blower motor is capable of working. So I don't believe this to be a problem with the blower motor. Aside from that, we're talking about a situation where there's excessive noise. So as I said, I think a good idea is to start by removing the blower motor, which in this case is located up underneath the glove box here, and having a look for that debris that I suspect is there. Okay, here we are up under the dash. This is our blower motor here. It's held down by 3 fasteners around the outside of it. The tricky part is going to be once we go to remove it and drop it down here. And it's going to actually be of benefit to us to remove the floor mats before we do that. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to take those out of here. Alright, one of the first things I'll do here is disconnect the electrical connection, which simply you just push in on this tab and pull the connection down. Personally, I always like to go for the most difficult fasteners first, because for some reason that workflow works for me. Because it's like after I get that first one out, everything else seems easier. And the third one, which is easiest to get to and easiest for you to see. Now, as I said, it may be difficult to get this out of here, but you'll find problems like this on older vehicles before cabin filters more, because they don't have cabin filters. Let's just see if we're lucky enough to be able to sneak this out of here. I don't think we are. I think we need just that little bit extra of having that carpet out of the way. Alright, my first step is actually going to be to remove this trim piece here, and all it does is pull up. Now that that piece is off of here, we have access to, it's a lot easier to have access to these retainers for the carpet. Next thing I'm going to do is pull back this weather stripping. That's as far as I need to go, because I want to get this kick panel off. And to remove that, I want to sort of be careful, but pull in this direction. You can see there's retaining clips both here, So there's 3 of those. So that'll give you an idea when you're pulling on it. You've got pull up at the top, pull here towards the center, and pull in there towards the bottom. If these little black clips stay in place, pull them out and put them back on this plastic before trying to reinsert this, because it'll be very difficult to do so. Just pull the carpet back. And actually, if you ever wondered where your computer was, it's underneath here. I'm hoping I don't have to go so far as to pull the computer out also, but we may be looking at that. Because still, there's not quite enough to do this with. And yeah, now it's coming back to me as these cars were like this. You do have to pull the carpet back and the computer back in order to have enough access to get that out. It sounds difficult, but it's really not. There may still be like a retaining clip up at the top of this carpet. Well, the clips decided to stay. There's a piece of carpet that runs from this side to the other side. Tear it. You're better off. Now see, it's up underneath there. This is just a little duct work here that popped loose. This is a little piece of duct work here. There's a little retaining clip up at the top. It just quite literally snaps back into place. Have to make sure that you insert it over on the side on the duct work in order for it to seat in there properly. There we go. Pushing the clip. Life is good. Now it's a matter of here's that retaining clip for the carpet. Now it's a matter of removing the shielding from the computer. It's not that difficult. It's just a series of, I believe, 4 10mm fasteners, and then we'll have the clearance we need to drop the blower motor the rest of the way out. Alright, as stated, 4 fasteners. They're just nuts here, up underneath this blower motor here. These are just 10mm nuts that hold it on. Alright, now that that's out of the way, and for those of you wondering what this is, that's the ABS computer. Orange stuff on Hondas and Acuras is ABS, yellow stuff is SRS. Green stuff, well, that could be a lot of things. Okay, push this guy up and out of the way. That's all I need. Look what we found. Bunch of debris inside the blower motor. Super common. So I'm gonna shake this stuff out, and I'm gonna get a shop vac and go up into this opening and try to draw out as much other material as I can. But this is common to a lot of vehicles, not just Hondas, but just a lot of vehicles, particularly vehicles like, say, before 98, 99, because a lot of them weren't necessarily running cabin air filters. Cabin air filters did a lot to help prevent this debris from working its way down into the blower motor assembly. Where this stuff comes from, though, if you're wondering where this all begins, it's right here. This is the fresh air induction to your HVAC system. So if you live in a wooded area where you have a lot of debris from trees that fall down, particularly pine trees, those are a big one, and they fall down inside of here, they can work their way down through this plastic, and once they do that, this is, like I said, the air intake, so this is where the blower is drawing air in to the HVAC system, and as a result, it can take debris along with it, and you get the problem that we have now. And like I said, this may not make noise all the time because of this, because maybe a piece of debris will go through those fins. Now this is called like a squirrel cage. Like these little pieces here will like come outside of these fins, and as a result it could make contact with something inside the HVAC, make noise for a little while, turn the blower off, it's a different day, and it goes away. I'm going to need to get a little pair of pliers or something to get that last little piece there. There we go. Now our blower motor is free and clear of all debris. So to minimize this from happening again, I have my shop back here, and I'm just going to go up inside the HVAC and try to suck out as much debris as I can. Now that that's done, I'm going to reinstall my blower motor in reverse of removal. There we go. There's a bit of a fight, but all better now. This only goes on one way, so look for this area here to give you an idea of how it's supposed to sit. Okay, it's secured, so we will restore our electrical connection. And before we put everything back together, we are going to test it, because we don't want to put it all back together, then test it, then find out there's still something in there. If you find out now, it's going to be easy to take it back out. Not hearing anything abnormal. I'm gonna green light it, finish putting it back together. This just clips down into each one of these areas. Noisy blower motors. As I was saying earlier, this principle can apply to several different makes and models. The procedure for blower motor removal is not necessarily going to be the same. However, if you do have some kind of intermittent noise, in fact, sometimes you can actually hear like leaves and things blowing around inside your HVAC. Very likely you got a situation similar to this. And the fix is the same. You got to take the blower motor out, you got to get in there, try to vacuum out as much as you can. Sometimes you can also go in those vents on the outside and take compressed air and blow it down in those vents to try to force some more of that stuff through. But I guess the real takeaway with this is if you do live in an area, a wooded area, and you do have a lot of debris that collects down by your windshield wipers, clean it off. Get rid of it for as much as you can. In fact, anytime a car came in for service with me, that was one of the things that I would do to help prevent a situation just like this. Also, that's the kind of stuff that as your AC is running, it creates condensation the same way like moisture collects on the outside of a glass on a hot summer day. In the same way it does that, the AC system does that, and there's moisture created inside that HVAC system. And it's collected and drained out. So I've done another video about AC drains that get clogged up. Part of the reason they get clogged up is because of this debris. When it gets down in there, it blocks the flow of water from getting out of the HVAC system out that drain. In addition, this can also help cause smells from the HVAC system. So once moisture and this debris gets in there, it starts to rot. And when it does, it can smell up your entire car. So if you find that when you turn your AC system on or when you turn the blower on and get kind of a funky smell, well, it could be the result of something like this also. So Very simply, if you just keep that area on top of underneath your windshield wipers clean, it can go a long way to help prevent something like this from happening. Once again, the procedure, several different vehicles, virtually the same thing. It's just a question of taking the blower in and out. Anyway, I hope this video was useful to you. If you have automotive questions, I would ask that you go to my website and type in a couple of keywords to the search function, and most likely you'll come up with an answer. However, if you don't, feel free to sign up for our forum. That is absolutely free. All you need is an email address. Just make sure to respond to the confirmation email, so check your spam folder if you don't find that. And if you want to connect with me socially, you can do that on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. And I will close with, say it with me now, be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. Yeah!